Well, baby, you've been on my mind. I think about you all the time. Oh, I want to see your face.
I think they're good.
As long as you're comfortable, I'm just saying you're going to probably get in.
Noise.
That's exactly what I need.
I prefer it shut and locked.
We got that. What am I drinking? I'm going to drink.
Cactus?
Is this good?
I don't know. What is it?
It says cerveza.
Ooh.
I don't know, man.
Golly, I needed that.
It's delicious. So this is episode number 3 of the birthday podcast day that will be shown at a later date. Is that
By
correct?
your next birthday.
By 57, I think. Yeah, you'll be 57 by then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we are very blessed and honored to have another one of my friends who's an amazing musician.
You have a lot of friends, man.
I'm telling you, I'm very, very blessed, especially for the birthday podcast. I met this gentleman 3 years ago. No, oh my gosh, we met in Steamboat, Colorado.
That's exactly what it was.
So before I tell stories, everything, everybody, this is Nicky James. Nicky, cheers, and thank you for sleeping around with Dr. Brandon and Matthew. Today,
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys.
we're going to be drinking Shiner, and this is one of these cool 6-packs that has the brewery tour. So I think I'm drinking Cactus. Was that what you said it was? What is that?
You know, it seems like some kind of...
Is it a prickly pear?
No, it's the agave. It's brewed with agave. It's the Mexican style lager.
Okay.
So it's
There
like
we go.
maybe their version of Dos Equis.
Man, this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is that your official review?
It is.
Well, is that the taste of the week? We're going to need to...
But we gotta
You
do
gotta
the
work on the
taste.
taste of the
And
week.
then,
I have some ideas for that.
You're just doing the old school.
I'm just going old school original. You know, this is what I drank back in college
Right.
because I thought this was expensive beer and I didn't want to be a cheap ass.
Mm-hmm.
Things change sometimes, but I'm gonna stick with the original Shiner.
What you got over there, brother?
I got the Shiner Light Blonde.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they're all delicious, man. I just grabbed the first one I saw. I said, it's going to be good. It doesn't matter what it is.
That boy. So Nicky came all the way from Nashville to be with us here in Austin. So thank you again. So let me tell the story. So I met this gentleman in Steamboat, Colorado. There used to be there's still a festival that goes on there.
January, right? Is this
Yep.
the Winter Festival?
What's it called?
Steamboat Music Fest.
Steamboat Music Fest. And I went up there and with the buddies of mine and just had a blast. And I met Nicky, and Nicky ended up riding back with us to the airport, and we just spent a lot of time together. Back then I was close to 300 pounds and had a big white beard, so I kind of look like Santa. Fair?
I mean, I don't think you were 300 pounds. That's stretching it a little bit.
But I was a bigger boy, had a big beard. And one night, what I do love about these festivals and stuff, sure, you can go to amphitheaters, you can go to bars. We like to have people at our place. And we were blessed and fortunate to have Nicky come in and sing. And I just said, wow, man, this guy's awesome. And then from then on, our mutual friend Kyle started Mile Zero Fest, see the hat, down in Key West, Florida. Because of that trip, we were stuck with an avalanche. And Kyle got the idea, goes, why are we not on the beach, you know? So Nicky's been performing at Mile Zero, and I go every year, hang out with him and his lovely wife, Hannah. And I just think he's one of the greatest musicians. So a dear friend, but also an amazing singer. So thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you guys so much for having me, man. I was so blessed when I got the call, man.
Well,
Love what you guys are doing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So Nicky, how has your experience been in Texas so far? So you flew in and went to Houston, right? Seabrook?
Yep.
Stayed in Austin last night, right?
Yep.
Okay. Had a gig there last night. And tonight, what are you doing?
I guess that is the question we're still trying to figure out. I think we might try to experience Austin.
There you go. So the good news about this podcast is this man knows everything Austin. As you can see, his Longhorn helmet back there. So
We won't
Brandon,
judge you for that.
Yeah.
Brandon will also be a good person to tell you where and when to be tonight.
You know, that's the funny thing, right? Like every time you're in a city and it's like, well, I don't really go out that much. So it's one of those things that's hard to do, but there's obviously some.
Well, they need to go to 6th Street. Fair?
I mean, if you want to see 6th Street, it's one of those iconic types places. But yeah, if you want to see a bunch of young drunk people,
I really don't.
yeah. So
Unless I'm playing.
Well, yeah, that's fun. Now you're not from Nashville originally.
No.
Music took you to Nashville.
Yeah, music took me to Nashville. I'm born and raised Omaha, Nebraska, and then spent a lot of time down in Oklahoma playing. It's kind of where I cut my teeth playing music for a while. Played a little bit in Texas and kind of traveled all the way up through the Midwest. And then about 5.5 years ago, just kind of said, you know what, we got to take a chance on it.
Yep.
And my wife was nice enough to say, I'm going to quit my job. I believe in you. And,
That's phenomenal.
yeah, it's amazing. So
Is she from Nebraska too?
she is.
Okay.
Yeah, we've known each other, high school sweethearts. We've
wow.
known each other since middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you prefer a big red helmet instead of the Longhorn helmet?
You know what? I
If
do.
had to
And
guess.
here's the
big
thing.
helmets.
It's through thick and thin, right? We're
Yeah.
having a tough couple years.
So are we, man.
But you gotta.
So are we.
We are diehard fans.
Yeah.
I was born in '92, so all I knew for the longest time was Nebraska was the shit.
Yeah.
They're the
Right.
greatest
Yeah.
team ever.
Yep. Tom Osborne led.
And that's all the stories we ever heard, you
Right.
know. And now it's like all we know is losing seasons, but it is what it is.
You got the right coach, man. I'm a big believer in Frost.
I am
man.
too, man.
Well, I'll tell you, we played Nebraska. It was one of the coolest things. My freshman year in college, I played for the Longhorns. Was a walk-on defensive back, and that year, I want to say this was back in '99. We beat Nebraska. They were ranked number 3 in the country. They came to Austin. Phenomenal game. This is back we had Major Applewhite playing and all that kind of stuff, and Aaron Humphreys, and this was Casey Hampton and Sean Rogers on the defensive line, and it was just one of those phenomenal games where the stadium was rocking, everybody went nuts, and we ended up pulling out in the 4th quarter and winning by like 4 points, and it was just nuts. And the funniest thing about, and the thing I remember most about that game is there's a lot of Cornhuskers here.
Oh, they traveled.
yeah.
They travel well, and to a fan, every single one you run into after the game was shaking your hand. Great game, like the idea of, because you go to other places like in Oklahoma and like you beat them and they spit on you,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But the Nebraska fans,
They're too nice.
they're too nice. They love the game. They appreciate the game. And I'll tell you what, it was a good thing too, because then we played them again in the Big 12 championship game in the Alamo Bowl that year. And they got us back. They beat us and they won the Big 12 championship that year. And it went on from there. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you,
That might be the last game they won though.
I know.
I've been a big fan of Omaha for a while. I love college baseball, and I think the College World Series, Baseball World Series is so fun. And so I would spend time up there, and man, you're right. The people
Yeah.
were just amazing.
Did you ever make it to Rosenblatt?
I did. In fact, I was there when LSU played Texas.
No kidding.
And it's just awesome. And the people there, the town's beautiful. So let's get into this, man. I'm so tickled to have you here, brother. You have some new music coming out, but let's tell the story. High school. Did you start playing music as a kid with your family, or how'd you get into it?
Well, looking back on it now, we grew up in kind of a musical family.
Okay.
My mom kind of sang a little bit. My dad was a DJ back in Minnesota for some time. So I think
Nice.
he called himself a disc jockey.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd still even call themselves that, but
Right.
I did the typical thing as a high school kid. I played sports, and then I got to the point where I said, man, what am I going to do? I don't really want to go to college. My mom wants me to go to college. I really missed hanging out with my brother. Hadn't seen my brother because he was living in Nashville and Oklahoma for years and years. Always kind of dabbled playing the guitar and singing a little bit. But I said, man, if I kind of took this a little bit more seriously, maybe I could, go hang out with CJ a little bit more down in Oklahoma. And, I remember him saying, hey, I would love to have you come down and play a couple shows. I thought it was the coolest thing, man. And it kind of that was the start of it all.
So I knew your brother.
Yeah.
Right? Still know your brother.
Yes.
And, when I would go back in town and see my friends, aforementioned Kyle Carter, I would see CJ. And I didn't even know he had a brother. I didn't even know you played. And so it was so weird doing that, seeing you in Steamboat. And so you messed around with us. So what did you end up doing? You said, I'm going to go chase this dream and go hang out with my brother?
Yeah, I think it got to the point where, obviously starting out, you suck. You're terrible. You're terrified. It's a scary thing to get on stage, right?
Yeah.
And play in front of people, and, you got to fail before you succeed. And I'm still failing to this day, but without obviously failure, you can't succeed, and vice versa on that one. But just started playing more. Getting more into learning, how to play the guitar correctly, learning the art of songwriting correctly, listening, asking questions, learning from people that have done it before. Kyle Carter, CJ Greco,
Right.
Ben Brock,
Yep.
all those guys that, kind of paved the way for me to be, where I'm at now. And I just, I remember Kyle Carter telling me one time, you don't know anything yet. And it stuck with me. And I still don't know anything yet.
Wow.
I'm still learning as I go.
Yeah.
But and to this day, I love nothing more than just listening, asking questions, especially like writers in Nashville, and learning from the people that have done it.
Right.
Because you can only get better, right, doing that. But I just kind of hunkered down and said, this is what I want to do. And the turning point, I remember I was probably just turned 19 years old, and my brother and Kyle took me down to Tulsa, and we went and saw Jason Isbell play at Cain's.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
he played first time I've ever seen him live, first time I've ever been to Cain's. And
Man, that's a hell of a trip, buddy.
He played Cover Me Up.
Oh,
And something about it, it's almost like, when like a song meets like a landscape and the melody, everything just like comes together in one. And it's like an art piece.
Yep.
And it was so silent that it was loud. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, totally.
Oh
yeah.
But it really shocked me, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to make this 6'8" guy in the stand or the crowd cry.
Yeah.
I want to bring back a memory for somebody.
Yeah.
That's we have this power as musicians, which is so amazing, man. It's the greatest gift I could ever ask for. And I think sometimes we take it for granted, and it's up to us not to.
Man.
That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about some of the other musicians we've had on the show, and that's the crazy thing about music. And why I think I'm so drawn to music is what connects people. Music has this power to bring out emotion in people, and you never know who you're going to touch, at what point in time you're going to touch it. But there's so many experiences that a song brings back that memory, brings back that, a family thing that you have with your family, or a partner that you had, or a best friend that you had, or somebody that you lost, or, all those types of things. And it's crazy. And I'm not a musician, but I love music. And that you recognize that power that you have is really cool. So you saw that on stage, and you were like, man, I want to be that. I want to be on stage and have the ability to impact people and bring that type of emotion and energy out of people.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's medicine, man. It's therapy. And I think, maybe some of the substance of music and lyrically is kind of getting lost.
Agree.
And I hope that it comes back.
Right.
But I think people need it, man.
Yeah.
You have that. Musicians have the opportunity to write a song and, change somebody's life off one lyric.
Yeah.
That's crazy power. And that's a beautiful thing to have the opportunity to do.
Yeah. And I'm selfish in the fact that you said I have a lot of friends. I do, but a lot of people that could play music around me. And so like even last night after their gig, we're back at the hotel and talked the hotel to keeping the bar open another hour, and it was this beautiful landscape.
Another hour?
Yeah.
Well, it ended up being a couple. Yeah, that bill was fun. But then just, Jason pulls out a fiddle, Ben's got a guitar, you got a guitar. Hell, your camera guy can sing. John Denver.
Where did that come from?
That was beautiful. My gosh. So, and it's like a memory, right? Brandon alluded to this. So we've talked to some people on the podcast about the writing process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fascinated with this. So I ask this question all the time. Is it a feeling you get, or as a writer in Nashville, do you have a set time, 8 to 5, or do you just write it on a yellow notepad? Do you use your phone? How do you write, Nicky? How does it work for you?
Well, I'm very weird when it comes to writing.
Okay.
I find it very awkward to do and I'm not taking anything from it. I think it's a very talented thing that writers can go and set up a time and go, we're going to write from 11 to 2 today.
Right.
To me, it's not like that. I can't even tell you how many times my wife always talks about how weird I am because I wake up at 3 a.m. It's almost like somebody's giving me the song. I don't know if it's a higher power coming in, and it's just little ideas. But, you know, I get a lot of my writing just by talking to people. You could say one thing, you know, one little moment, and it triggers something, you know, and that's my process. And, you know, to me, a song's never done until it's recorded. Okay. You know, so I'm constantly working on, you know, up until the day I record it in the studio, I'm nitpicking, you know, I'm working on 2 or 3 different songs at a time, and just trying to figure out, you know, how can I make this better? How can I make more people, you know, connect with it? But my process is just totally different, you know, and I don't think there's a wrong or a right way.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think I would love to be able to, and I still do it. I still go write all the time in Nashville. There's set times. And that's really fun because that's when you learn. You're right with older writers, guys that have done it, girls that have done it. And that's when you're learning. But that's one thing I think I need to get better at, to be honest with you.
Well, let me ask you something. So when you have, let's say you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you have this wonderful idea, you jot it down, maybe you play a little. Are you hesitant to take that idea to the writers? Or are you trusting, saying, this is my baby, guys, I need some help with this? Or is it?
Yeah, so, well, it's a good question because when I first moved to Nashville, the stubborn me, and I think a lot of musicians are like this, stubborn Nicky goes, I'm going to write every song. I'm going to record every song that I've written, you know. But the more you get into it, the more you realize there's this other dream too, right? There's the dream of the writer as well. Right. And they're in the game as well. Right. And you have to give them the opportunity. They can only help you. Right. They're the best of the best. Right. So sometimes as a writer, you can kind of get caught with, you know, putting down too much of your own ideas. And, you know, sometimes things get too deep because your brain thinks it makes sense, but it might not make sense to the listener. Right. So it's always a good thing to have multiple ears on it, multiple brains. Let's brainstorm. Let's come together. You know, every time I've taken a song to a set of writers, it's only been better.
Wow.
Yeah. So what is coming to you whenever you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get a song idea? Is it the lyrics that you're getting, or is it the tune that you're getting? And what do you play first?
It's the lyrics always.
The lyrics first.
And it's just like it's so weird, man. It'll just come in like a dream, very almost like just a flash.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wake me up, and then it's game time.
Being who I am, I'm concerned about you waking up and not going back to sleep. So I guess my question is like, when that idea hits you, that lyric hits you, like, are you out of the bedroom and you're going to go work on it right then and there? Or is you can't sleep? No. Or is this like, I'm going to jot this down and tomorrow I'm going to work on this? No, it's right then and there.
It's right then and there. Yeah. You got to go do it. Because I feel like if I don't, I lose it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you close your eyes one more time, it's gone. You'll forget.
Wow.
It's like they're giving you the opportunity. Whoever sent it to me.
So it sounds like you've learned to be able to appreciate other writers and their perspective that they can put on your words.
Yes.
You know, so you kind of bring that to the table and say, here's the idea that I had, here's what I'm doing. But then they can throw their perspective on it. And it's like you said, it just makes it better.
It always does, man. It always does. And I've been very fortunate to write with some incredible writers in Nashville, man. There's a lot of just super talented, you know, younger kids coming through right now as well. And even more so, the women in Nashville, the writers, they are on a different level.
Really?
Yes.
Give me an example of that. And if you don't mind, hey, Dan, can you hand him his guitar? Give me an example of, and you don't have to play a whole song.
Yeah.
Give me an example of, last night something really cool happened. There's a song that Nicky plays that just really touches me. It's you know, we have similar paths with our mothers. And I was going to sing along. Well, I was just fascinated because I know this song so well that just that one change in lyric, you know, where I thought it said, you know, where I've always heard you. And I asked, why'd you change it? Like, why did, you know, was that something like what you're talking about? Like that's where you decided to change it?
You know, I think, and I was talking to my brother earlier about this, and sometimes we're writing so many songs that lyrics it's almost like sometimes you can do too much. Okay. You know, and, you know, obviously I said earlier that sometimes the song's not done till we record it, but sometimes you got to say, hey, a song's done and we're moving on. But in that case, you know, that's just me writing it, trying to get it perfect when it already might be done. And I'm just trying to change things just to change things. And sometimes you got to say, you you know what? It's good how it is, you know?
Right. Well, give us an example of a song that you came to these writers. You were talking about these young ladies that are just phenomenal writers, and just kind of put us in your process, man.
Well, this is the newest song I just wrote with a good buddy of mine named Brad Sample.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's a really cool dynamic because he's way more Americana.
Okay.
And I like to write with writers from different genres because I think sometimes if you're just writing for, you know, commercial country or Texas country, sometimes it can come out sounding like similar to everything else.
Right.
So like this song we did, man, we're just trying to get something as real as we possibly could. My wife's pregnant with our first baby, and we got one on the way. And, you know, in the writing process, I was just telling them, you know, at some point you got to realize, you know, I love chasing this thing, but my wife has dreams as well.
Nice.
You know, and not that I'm done by any means.
Right.
But if it ever got to that point, I would have no regrets about anything because my number one goal in life is take care of her, take care of the family.
That's
you know, so we wrote this song just basically about all that, man. 12 years into a 10-year town, feel like I'm spinning on a merry-go-round. One on the way, I got a mortgage due, but it's hard to pay the bills with 3 chords and the truth. This fire used to rage, now I'm just a flicker in the flame. Thought that it'd be worth it someday. Lately I've been losing my faith, feeling doubt on my knees, and I'm praying I might see. Am I chasing a dream, or is a dream only chasing me? You're tired sitting low and a flashlight out. You're getting by ain't really that cool now. Still got that blood running in my soul, but I might just take that exit on a one-way road. Thought that it'd be worth it someday. Lately I've been losing my faith, feeling doubt on my knees, and I'm praying I might see. Am I chasing a dream, or is a dream only chasing me? I thought that it'd be worth it someday. Lately I've been losing my faith, feeling doubt on my knees, and I'm praying I might see. Am I chasing a dream, or is a dream only chasing me? Am I chasing a dream, or is a dream only chasing me?
Wow. Oh,
That's the newest one, man.
I'm going to tell you, Nicky, you're so freaking talented.
You're so talented, man. Thank you,
I
bro.
tell you what, so I love it when people are able to kind of talk up a song. That song, though, just tells the story. It's like you don't need much talk up to, you know? Do you agree?
I agree.
I mean, it just kind of went down that path, man. Loved it.
Thank you, brother.
I got a good question for you that I don't think I've asked an artist this yet. You mentioned Hannah, and congratulations again,
Thank
brother.
you so much. I'm not sure if I was supposed to release that, but I'm just kidding.
Well, I will tell you as two dads, there's no greater gift than to be a father. I'll tell you though, when you write something about Hannah or y'all's life together, or maybe good or bad or indifferent, do you run it by her first?
I always play every song for her.
Okay.
She's my biggest and best critic, man. I can trust her.
Right.
And I love that about her. If I write a shitty song, she will tell me.
Straight up.
I don't like it.
Really?
Yes. And I like that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't want my wife to love everything I've ever done.
Right.
Because I make mistakes.
Right.
That doesn't make me better as a human being. It doesn't make me better as a writer, as a husband, as a friend. You know, tell me when I messed up. You know, she makes me such a, different and better person, man. I'm very thankful for her. So
yeah. And Brandon will one day get to meet the lovely Hannah. She's definitely the not only the better looking of the two, but definitely the backbone of the team.
Way smarter.
Okay, so that song you said is going to be a new release. So how long have you been cutting music for our listeners with iTunes and Spotify, but also our YouTube people? Don't forget to like and subscribe. How long have you been putting out music that they can get to?
Well, I think the first time I ever went down to Nashville, I was about 17, and that's when I started really doing demos and recording stuff. That stuff's not out anymore, but I think professionally, probably for the past 5 years now.
Okay.
But it's a process. I've recorded things. I didn't like them. I've spent money on it, and it just wasn't my vibe. It wasn't what I wanted to portray to an audience. Right. And I've learned a lot of lessons, and that's part of being a musician. That's part of being an independent artist as well. You're going to make mistakes. And I recorded a bunch of stuff I never even put out. Was it a waste of money? No, because it made me learn. But the past 3 years, I've really been happy with the sounds we've been getting and the music I've been writing. So probably, past 3 years really is when I've been pushing a lot of music out. And this year specifically, we put out 8 or 9 songs.
I was about to say, I've seen a bunch of content, not only like music videos, but just the music itself. So that probably, for the last 3 years, obviously the elephant in the room is COVID, right? COVID happened March of 2019.
2020, my friend.
It was 2020?
Yeah.
It's been,
feels like
man, I'm telling you,
forever.
Feels like it's been 5 years of COVID. Yeah. How did that play a part in anything?
I think with anything, you're going to have your negatives and you're going to have your positives as well. And, obviously that's weird to say with COVID because it's such a negative time, but man, I got to be home and I got to be writing all the time and spending a lot of time with my wife and not focusing on music, not focusing on, chasing this dream and, what's the next step? So in that case, it was a positive,
right?
I kind of got to take a break for a little bit. Obviously there's a lot of negatives that came out of it, but the cool thing about it is we're going to get through it.
We have a mutual friend, John Goolsby. He's actually going to be on a future podcast of ours. Singer, songwriter, Nashville, and he told the most humbling story about the lessons that COVID taught him as a singer-songwriter. And that he has the most blessed job in the world because when even COVID and all that went down, he realized, oh my gosh, I've kind of taken advantage of this life I've had because, man, when you can't just go out and gig and go certain places because it's shut down,
sure.
I mean, it messed with him, but it was a positive thing too. He's like, oh man, I can't just go play Saturday night and get this check and work with a team in person. So it's interesting. And I'm sure John won't mind me saying this, but he didn't have a unit at home, right? Didn't have that wife. And so
that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I got to imagine you were getting pretty antsy though.
Oh,
I mean, if someone took my craft away from me for that long, and just said, you can no longer do that. You can no longer do your thing. I mean, like I was on vacation last week and, I love my family. I love spending time with them. I love having that time off. And, we played games and we watched movies and we, my nephew and my brother and we, but a couple of days of that, and I'm like, man, I want to get back to work.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
I definitely did. And here's the thing. What I was thinking about is, at some point it's going to come back. I'm going to be able to go out and make money again.
Right.
I'm fortunate. My wife's got a good job, so we were fine. But what I was worried about is all the small venues.
Yeah.
And all these, mom and pop shops, music shops that have put everything they possibly could into running this business. And now, are they ever going to be able to come out from it? Are they ever going to be able to start it back up again?
Right.
I'm always going to be able to go play music, but that's what was concerning to me, because you start losing those, the backbone of this country and all these, small mom and pop shops and venues. It's like, what do we
especially
do?
somewhere like Nashville.
Exactly.
How are things? I mean, how many mom and pops didn't make it? Was there a lot? Was there significant turnover or more opening now? What are you seeing?
I thought the community came together and really helped out a lot of the venues, which is really cool to see, man.
Yeah.
And for the most part, there's a couple that closed down, but I think they might be reopening. They got some funding, which is really cool. But, Nashville, and I love living there, but, it's such a tourist town.
Yeah.
They're going to have the money coming through, I worry about, Nebraska.
Yep.
And Iowa and, all these small Oklahoma and parts of Texas that don't have that traffic coming through, so Nashville will be fine.
Well, I think there's a grit to people too, guys. I live in Lafayette on the weekends and, talk about tourists, they go to New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Well, between politics and COVID, everything was shut down. And there was a lot of things that shut down, but you're talking about a region of people who face storms a lot. They face oil fields up and down, and I think that there's something to that. I never thought about like Nashville being a touristy, but you're right. I think that the locals there are singer-songwriters with dreams to be something else. But yeah, man, I didn't even think about that. And I also didn't think about, that's such a cool thing that you have this gift that you're like, well, I'll be able to play music somewhere eventually.
For sure.
And with good friends like that we have that say, you know what, COVID's happening. We're still going to do Mile Zero.
Absolutely.
We're just going to move it to May. Last year. That was pretty cool.
That was
pretty
cool.
Man. So this new kind of movement that I'm seeing with your music, Nicky, we go back, right? From seeing you in the that living room, that condo in Steamboat, to now, even your stage presence. But one of the reasons, and I've told my father this several times, that I love your music is just for me personally, it speaks to me. It's kind of probably like your Jason Isbell experience. You came out with a song this year, and I apologize if it came out last year, and I was so fortunate to witness you sing it live last night with someone right next to you. Addict's Not. Are you able to talk about the thing? And then
absolutely. Came out this year. Forget what month it was, but very fortunate, man. We had CMT picked up the music video, which I could care less of anything like that. But that one song, I thought that was a very special thing. But I wrote it for my brother, and he's, I think, a year sober to date. And I'm just so proud of him, man. He's taught me everything about music. He's the guy who got me into doing it, and I just wanted to write a song, not just for him, but there's so many people going through addiction issues, man. And sometimes, they feel alone. They don't feel like they're being heard. And I guess my idea was just trying to write a song to let them know that, we're here for you. But also, I want you to do everything you possibly can to get better because I need you here. I need you around. I need my brother. So that was my thinking of it.
Well, man, Dan, do you mind handing him his guitar? So last night, the boys played a beautiful venue outside of Austin here, and CJ was actually sitting next to you. I was so honored to hear you play that with him right there that I was so moved. I went up and hugged CJ and hugged you. And thank you for playing this song for us. Dan, do you need me to grab anything? Are you good? Okay.
Yeah, man. It was a very cool experience.
I'm telling you, I was so glad I was there. I was there to witness it.
I've never played it in front of him. And,
man.
It took us a long time because I wanted to respect him and I wanted to respect, I didn't want to talk about it. But it's like he said, now he can go help people. You know, and that's that's giving it back. And that's what's so cool about it. And man, I can't stress it enough. And I know he'd probably laugh at me for saying this, but I'm just so proud of him, man.
Yeah.
That's a hard battle to go through.
Yeah.
And he looks great.
He does.
Amazing.
Actually, CJ is with us today. He's actually in the house. We'll have him sing a song that we'll cut and we'll put it on your episode.
Cool.
But if you don't mind playing
Absolutely.
the song for us, brother.
Do you really want to wake up early? See the beauty in a Texas sunrise. Walk past the neon flicker, flip off the finger night. Turn around and run away from the old times. Are you really getting sick of sinking? Finally getting tired of fighting the shaking? You know the devil just laughed. Guys like us fall for the same traps. What does getting better look like for you? I just wanna know, are you done driving down a one-lane road? Tell me, do you feel like you're alone? Stuck in the same spot, trying to get free from an addict's night. This time, do you think that it might stick? Say the money that you made in double shifts. I'm only asking 'cause I need to know. When is it time I can trust my hope? What does getting better look like for you? I just wanna know, are you done driving down a one-lane road? Tell me, do you feel like you're alone? You're stuck in the same spot, trying to get free from an addict's night. What does getting better look like for you? I just wanna know, are you done driving down a one-lane road? Tell me, do you feel like you're alone? You're stuck in the same spot, trying to get free from an addict's night.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Oh, Nicky.
That was the one that CMT picked up, the video?
Yeah, they put it, which, you know, they didn't put it on their actual network. We got it on their website, which is really cool, man. Because, and listen, that's never going to be a number one hit. You know, it's a downer. But that's, to me, that's a special song. And if CMT or any station were to pick up one, I'd want that one to be the one.
Yeah. I mean, I think just the message alone, obviously I'm tied to you guys. Obviously I know the story. I know you guys. So man, what a blessing for you to share that song with us, brother. As you know, part of our podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about music. We like to drink, have fun. Obviously Brandon and I like to cry a lot during these podcasts, but we also talk about health, Nicky, and your wife is a nurse.
Yes.
And you did mention that you get up at 3:00 and barely sleep. You talked that you were on a grind there for a while, hitting the road. You know, on a typical week average, how many hours do you think you truly sleep a night?
You know, I was thinking about this flying here. 25-year-old me was really bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd stay up, I'd go to the bars, you know, and that's part about being in Nashville too. You got to network and get out there and drink and meet new people, and was doing that on sometimes a daily basis, and would just be getting terrible sleep. And man, I saw a huge change in my health, and everything from you know little things with skin to hair, to, just feeling groggy. And it took me a couple years to realize that, it was really important. But now 29-year-old me, unless I'm with Mr. Matt Allard, yeah, I'm probably going to bed about midnight and I'm trying to get about 7 hours of sleep. But it does everything for me. My voice is better.
Yep.
Yeah.
My brain's better. My thinking's better. My, day-to-day drive, everything. I think it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest things we can do as human beings.
Yeah. Well, I think, one of the things we really look at is sleep. And like you said, this idea of overall health and wellness and how sleep kind of incorporates into that. And I was just recently reading a book. It was really interesting. It was Keep Sharp by Sanjay Gupta, the chief medical correspondent for CNN. And it was interesting because he was talking about prevention of Alzheimer's and dementia and just cognitive decline, whether that's early on, whether it's just, simple everyday memory type stuff, or you get a concussion and you're healing from a concussion, or you forget where you put your keys, or, going into early stage dementia, Alzheimer's, and all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, by the time it happens, it's already happened. It's too late. The damage has already been done. But he came back, and the number one thing he came back to, it wasn't diet, it wasn't brain exercises, it wasn't IQ, it wasn't this, it was sleep. It was the number one correlation between that cognitive decline. And, so when we talk about health and wellness, what else do you do to stay healthy?
I try to work out. I need to do better at it. I try to get to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Thankfully, my wife has got me on a pretty good diet now when I'm at home.
Yeah.
She's pretty strict about what I'm eating. I try to sneak. I'm a big chip guy.
Yeah.
And I just like sweet chili Doritos, man.
Oh, man.
But golly,
Going for
my favorite. But she's got me on a pretty good diet now. And if she's listening to this, she'll be laughing her ass off. She's like, "You are full of shit right now."
Oh, man.
But I feel like I've been doing pretty good. But
Well, full disclosure. So in your whole 29 years of you, right? You're still young, brother. But here's a heads up from a couple dads. So your wife's pregnant. And I'm going to tell you, man, having a newborn, the idea of sleep and being a true helpmate to your partner, I mean, you're going to sacrifice that.
Sure.
Right. Diet, exercise are so important. And your lifestyle, because I know you 25-year or the 29-year-old you stay fit. We know people that unfortunately in the music business that we were friends with got COVID, that were pretty sick for a while. But staying healthy is going to be the leg up that you'll have versus pretty much, I would say 90% of the musicians that we hang out with.
absolutely.
Now, do you notice you mentioned kind of like my voice is better,
Like hair, he said, yep.
hair,
Skin.
skin, all that kind of stuff. Can you tell, like, if you're on kind of a longer, when you travel and you play,
When he hangs out with
and-
Matt
and
for
you
3
hang out with
days,
Matt
he-
for
Yeah,
3 days in
I
a
don't
row.
do this normally.
Yeah. So, when you're on a longer, like if you're at Mile Zero Fest or something,
Oh,
and you're there
yeah.
for 5 days and you're not, by the end of it, can you tell? Like
Oh.
when you listen to
Man.
the,
Can I tell him
the
you FaceTime
recording?
me?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
He FaceTimes me 2 days after I left. And so he had been there 9 days, 10 days.
I think it was even
He goes,
longer.
"Come get me." I go, I can't. I'm back at that time in Houston. I go, "I can't just come get you, buddy. You okay?" Yeah. But no, but those are periodic, right?
Yeah.
Like even like us celebrating
Yeah.
my birthday weekend and stuff, having fun. Because you've known me long enough to know that I think you can have a healthy balance.
For
Brandon preaches that not only to his team, but in our friendship. I mean, we hold each other accountable. If I'm probably doing bad personally or eating like crap or something, it's good to have that accountability. I'm not married to anybody, right? So I travel like almost like a musician. If you think about it, I'm on the road Monday through Friday.
For sure.
I'm staying the night in hotels and stuff. So I have to be cognizant at my age to make sure that I'm keeping in check too. But I don't have the gift you have of a voice. I would think as a musician, even in your hands, right? I mean, getting rest has got to be key.
Yeah.
It's got to. And even though hanging out with me doesn't get you much rest, that's okay.
Well, first of all, you can sing. I would think you could be a musician, but you
Oh.
have a lot of things that people would wish they could have, man. Very personable.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
a humble
Oh,
individual.
here we go. Stop it.
Yeah.
Really. Just
You know,
stop.
good looking, fit.
Small penis.
Yeah. That was my
Dr.
next one.
Well, listen, I want to get your brother in here, but you know what I'm going to ask you to play next, right?
Yes.
Do you mind sharing with our audience and Handsome Dan and Dr. Brandon kind of the story behind it?
Sure.
And then I promise I will not weep too much during the
Oh
song.
boy.
Well, we kind of have a little connection on that end of things, Mr. Matt. But man, has it been? I'm trying to think of how long ago it's been. Time flies. 4 years ago.
And my mom passed 3.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My mom passed away from glioblastoma brain cancer. Very rare condition, especially in women. And she was just the greatest human being, such a sweetheart. And yeah, it really changed me seeing her go through that. And being in that moment and taking care of her. And the older I get and the more milestones we reach, getting married, having kids, the more it really affects me.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I always thought it'll get easier, but it's the exact opposite.
Right.
It gets harder. But one thing that, I try to do is always keep her memory with us. And, she would want me to be playing music, but anyway, sorry. Wrote a song for her favorite artist was James Taylor, and
Nice.
the night she passed, we had the entire family was there, and I was trying to stay up. I was holding her hand, and I was trying to stay up with her, and I decided, I was gonna just shuffle songs on my phone, and just to let her listen to music, one last time, and somehow I dozed off, man. I don't even know how because I was wide awake, but it's almost like she was waiting for me to fall asleep. And I woke back up like within 10 seconds, and the song she passed to her favorite song and artist, Fire and Rain, James Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And right then I was like, man, there's something bigger in this world, man. There's
Sure.
an energy. There's something that in that moment, I realized there's something more. There has to be,
I agree.
So, but
Yeah. And the guitar. And thank you, brother.
absolutely. You make me cry over here, man.
I love this
You're
song.
crying.
This is my favorite song.
I'll try to sing the way you want me to sing.
Please.
Bow my head, say one more prayer.
Thank you.
Mama loved to sing and dance. She sang harmonies to Guitar Man. Learned guitar back in summer camp. Yes, she could hold her own damn beat. She taught me how to pick a song, oh, the kind where you can't sing along, 'cause it makes you wanna miss back home. It brings back a memory, ain't that the key? Took me one night to figure out, through trial and error I got it down, the magic of a midnight melody. As I held on to her sweet hand, I'd shuffle songs from famous bands and listen just like she always taught me. Bow my head, say one more prayer. I still cry hearing James Taylor. Oh, she got past a friend and me, and down through Mexico and Carole King, and by country roads she had no pain. and she went home to fire and rain. Took me one night to figure out, through trial and error I got it down, the magic of a midnight melody. As I held on to her sweet hand, I'd shuffle songs from famous bands and listen just like she always taught me. Bow my head, say one more prayer. I still cry hearing James Taylor. It took me one night to figure out, through trial and error I got it down, the magic of a midnight melody. As I held on to her sweet hand, I'd shuffle songs from famous bands and listen just like she always taught me. Bow my head, say one more prayer. Bow my head, say one more prayer. I'll bow my head, say one more prayer. I still cry hearing James Taylor.
You did it.
Love you, brother.
Love you guys. On that note, all right. So
You made me do it.
You asked for it.
I did. Cheers, brother. Thank you for sleeping around with Dr. Brandon and Matthew, birthday edition.
Thank
Love
you guys so much for having me, man.
Yeah,
Love you.
thanks for being here.
Appreciate you.
Ooh,
It's good stuff.
I love it.
Love you. Thanks for having me. What a badass thing. Badass meeting you.
Good to meet you. Thanks for being here.